I've been watching this new Tyra Banks documentary that everybody is going goo goo gaga over the new Tyra doc about Project Runway, right? No, not Project Runway. America's Next Top Drag Queen. No, not America. America's Next Top Model. That's the one. I'll be honest, I kind of missed the America's Next Top Model boat. Like I know about all the memes and stuff. We were rooting for you, blah blah blah. But when I was growing up, I was much more into Project Runway. Not that it matters, but it's a fascinating documentary, actually. It's really fascinating. I don't know if you've seen it or not. It's surprisingly good for a Netflix documentary series. I'm not a huge fan of Netflix's whole style, their whole thing. I think they drag these things out a little bit. And certainly the first episode of this does take a while to get going. And it does that thing, you know, when I'll do the thing now that all these documentaries do. So they'll go, like, they'll include this. Where do I put my microphone? Here? You know, because they think that gives it like a more candid, like, oh, this is real what you're getting here. And it's like, no, well, it isn't. I mean, all documentaries have an element of staging. But it does really get going. It gets better. And when I say gets better, what I mean is it gets quite illuminating about the topic in ways that are quite fairly disturbing, I think. And I think what's interesting about the documentary is that Tyra Banks is there, as are the other judges, hosts, whatever, who were around at the time. And they kind of get to speak on some of the controversies. And, for example, one of the big controversies was in, I think, possibly season 2, or they call them cycles. Cycle 1, cycle 2. Anyway, it was about this young girl who obviously wanted to be the next top model. And after one of the shooting days, she goes and she meets all these guys with the other models, and they're drinking, and she gets very drunk and ends up making out with a guy in the hot tub, which then progresses to them having sexual intercourse in the shower, I believe. And obviously, you don't need me to tell you this is like bad news. This is essentially, I mean, this is a sexual assault. She was drunk. She obviously couldn't consent. And what's most shocking about it is that the film crew are encouraged to film it as it happens. Apparently, they said they had a rule, which was that, like, cameras would always be rolling, and if someone goes into the bathroom alone, that's the only time cameras can't go in. But if you go into the bathroom with somebody else, the cameras can go in. And obviously she went in with someone else. And rather than someone stepping in, I know this was another time, but I feel like that is kind of a weak excuse a lot of the time, because this is a big budget production. And rather than someone stepping in and being like, no, this isn't right, you know, this needs to be stopped, this is crossing a kind of a terrible line. Instead, they just filmed it and made it a part of the narrative of the show. And there's this awful scene where she is essentially being kind of prodded and poked about her cheating on her boyfriend, because that's how they frame it, because she had a boyfriend, apparently a supportive boyfriend, and she did technically, I suppose, cheat on him. But I mean, when you're that drunk, I don't know. I know some people get really funny about this, but like, she was assaulted. Like, that's an assault. And it's awful to see her so upset and on the phone telling her boyfriend what she had done, when in reality it's like, no, you very much were the victim of something here. And Tyra speaks on it, and so do the other ones, but it's not very convincing, you know, their excuses and their sort of the way they talk about it. It's always just like, oh, it's another time, and unfortunately you can say that about anything. I'm pretty sure that stuff like that was still frowned upon. So, you know, I give the documentary credit for really focusing on those elements. I mean, there's so many things in this documentary, like about what they did on that show. I mean, there's multiple segments where they race swap as like a fun challenge. Like contestants black up and others white up, and there's like Asian makeup and all this kind of stuff. Is very like insane. So the doc is good. I haven't finished it yet. We've done 2 out of the 3 episodes, and thank God there's only 3. Netflix love to have it be like a million episodes. Like if Netflix had produced Grizzly Man, for example, one of the greatest documentaries. If you haven't seen Grizzly Man, it's a Werner Herzog documentary about this guy called Timothy Treadwell who loves bears. He loves bears. He's obsessed with bears. He thinks he's like the savior of bears. And he and his girlfriend at the time, or as I like to call her, his beard, they go to this national park in which you have to be flown in by helicopter, and then the helicopter flies away and comes to pick you up again in however many weeks it is that you're going to be there. Anyway, I won't spoil anything, but I will just say this. He goes at a time when the bears were struggling to get food. So, abnormally aggressive. And I'll leave it at that. But it is a very, very good documentary and you'll love it. But anyway, what I was saying is if they had produced that documentary, which is just a movie documentary, like a good 90-minute doc, it would have been bloody 9 hours long, wouldn't it? Because Netflix love to stretch out a concept. They ruin a lot of things by thinking that it's got more legs than what it has. Like even if you gave Netflix a centipede, they'd want to pretend it was a millipede. Do you know what I mean? They're trying to get as many legs as they can. But yeah, I recommend the documentary that I'm talking about, whatever it's called. I don't even know what it's called. That's about it, really. Just wanted to talk about what I've been watching, what I've been enjoying. I say enjoying. I mean, the documentary is very enjoyable. There are obviously parts of it that are disturbing. But, I mean, listen, I watch like true crime videos about... I watched one the other day and it was like... what was it called? The title of it was so, like, disrespectful. Like, true crime YouTube videos are getting really out of hand. Like, I'm really interested in a true crime case as much as anybody. But obviously I do have my second thoughts about the ethics of it sometimes. I tend to prefer true crime cases when they're like a bit further away. Maybe they've been solved or resolved in some way or whatever. Or maybe they were just so long ago that kind of things always seem more quaint in hindsight, don't they? Even though they're undeniably horrific. But you look back on Fred and Rose West and you go, "Aw, they loved each other." But anyway, this one was called Police Find House Full of Corpses. Okay? And actually what it was a family who were like all murdered by the father. And there was about 7 or 8 of them. So the title was technically correct. It was a house full of corpses. But I don't think it's the right title for it. And a lot of these videos, they're from like barely a couple of years ago. These days, a crime happens, the police camera footage, they have that little camera on their lapel or whatever. Is that hooked up to like Dropbox or something? Because it feels like these YouTubers, it feels like they're getting these harrowing videos before anybody else. Like, do they just get like an email notification like, boop, like new disturbing video has been sent to you by the Louisiana Sheriff's Department. Please make a YouTube video out of it. I think there might be a conspiracy going on, basically. I think these law men and women are in cahoots with the big YouTubers. Like, imagine if you were the family member of one of these victims of these crimes. Imagine if you were like the son or the daughter or the mother or the father of like one of these horrible things. And then you're just scrolling on YouTube one day trying to look for a flipping recipe for a nice apple pie to take your mind off the fact that your loved ones have been brutally murdered. And what do you see? You see like a 4-hour deep body cam footage plus interrogation video with a misleading title and an awful thumbnail with a big red circle on it. You're going to have a terrible day. And I do genuinely worry about that stuff. Like, I don't like the idea of somebody who is personally affected by a crime like that and then they have to also deal with that side of it. I don't like that. I also don't like the idea that one day, like, maybe I might be... Imagine if I get killed, which I would hate if that happened. I wouldn't like that. But what I would hate even more than that is to end up on one of these YouTube videos. That would rile me the wrong way. Okay. More of these to come, I think.